Should you buy gold and silver in 2026 rather than Bitcoin? No, no, and no. Okay, this is not that hard. The message never changes for me. Buy as much Bitcoin as you can. Hold on to it for as long as conceivably possible. Now, you may have seen on the internet people saying, hey, 2026 might be a tough year for Bitcoin. We're in a bear market. It might last a while. It could be weeks, could be months. Probably $60,000 was the lowest it'll go, but we don't know. And therefore, people are freaking out. And when people freak out, they make bad recommendations. And one of those bad recommendations is people say, oh, but you could just sit in gold and silver in 2026 and avoid that pain. That is a stupid idea. It is a dumb idea. Do not do that. Here is the reason why. First of all, don't ever sell an asset who's way down to buy an asset that's already way up. Like, that makes no sense. The only reason gold and silver sound safe right now is because they had a huge year in 2025. If you're an investment advisor who's constantly telling people to buy the thing that already went up and sell the thing that's already down, they're always losing money. That is the dumbest thing ever. You should be buying things that are down, and if you have to, selling things that are up to buy the things that are down. Bitcoin is down right now. Bitcoin is on sale. Bitcoin is a steal right now at $67,000 or whatever price it is when you're watching this. But do not ever advocate for somebody to buy something that has already had a huge run up, especially if it means they're going to sell something that's had a huge run down. That makes no sense. That is completely and totally backwards. Now, at the start of 2025, if somebody came to me and said, I have no stomach for volatility, I can't handle Bitcoin, 2025, 2026 could be a lot of volatility. I want to invest in sound money, but I can't handle any volatility. Then back at the beginning of 2025, I would say, well, that's really sad because you should be invested in Bitcoin. But if you can't handle volatility, if your stomach can't take it, you can't handle the roller coaster, then gold's your best option. I would never recommend people buy silver. That makes no sense. Silver's monetary attributes completely suck compared to gold, which completely suck compared to Bitcoin. But if you came to me at the beginning of 2025 and said, I want something to preserve my value, like sound money, but I'm not going to do Bitcoin, then I'm like, well, it's a bad option, but at least it's your only option. But that's at the beginning of 2025 when gold has been out of favor for years and it's cheap and Bitcoin is up. But if you're advocating people look at gold and silver now, when gold and silver are already up and Bitcoin is way down, that makes no sense at all. It's like you yourself have capitulated. It's like you have thrown in the towel. And look, if you're a Sherpa who's supposed to be helping people on their Bitcoin journey, and you're suddenly turning gold and silver at the top of gold and silver and at the bottom of Bitcoin, what are you even doing? What happened to you? Like, the conviction of Bitcoin is that you hold through a bear market. You buy more in a bear market. That is the best time. Again, like, talking about gold and suddenly becoming favorable to gold and silver after a huge price run, that is like retail level ridiculous, people who have no experience investing sort of blunders. That is the ultimate blunder in investing, is chasing what is up at the expense of what is higher value that is down. Don't ever tell people to do that. Don't do that yourself. That is dumb, 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 dumb. If you're advocating people do that, that is dumb. Don't do that. It's not that hard. Buy as much Bitcoin as you can. Hold on to it for as long as conceivably possible. Look, I don't know why people think it's that hard. I don't know why people lose their conviction at exactly the wrong time. In fact, people are so consistent at losing their conviction at exactly the wrong time that when people start to capitulate and do dumb things, that's when you know the bottom is near. Because when the bottom is near, people do stupid stuff. People do stupid stuff that loses money at the bottom. And especially if people who typically advocate for Bitcoin are suddenly changing their tune, we're close to the bottom because it means that, their emotions got the better of them and they just couldn't handle it. They're puking up their own Bitcoin at the bottom. It's crazy. I just can't understand how sometimes people's thought processes make no sense to me. Buy more Bitcoin, hold on to it for as long as conceivably possible. Same advice I've always given, and you're not going to hear me change.